Hi there. Thought I'd give the bike a wash down. It's got a little bit dusty in the garage. I'm going to go for a ride on it later. Welcome to episode 2. We're going to be putting the frames together in this episode, gluing them up, screwing them together and then sanding them off. So let's go over and take a look. Well, I think it's time to cut out some frame doublers. And there's a few to cut out. I've reset the frames up back onto the templates because all the doublers have obviously been cut out now, the stiffener doublers. So I've offered them up and I want to drill them, put some screws in, dry fit them. If you notice here, I've got a mark there for a hole, a mark there to put a hole and put a screw in. We've got the joint here underneath and then a screw each side there. So when I've done all this side, I can flip it over and then I'll put a screw in the other side which will come through that way, and then I'll probably put one here, one there and one there, and that's so the screws don't clash and join up in the centre, and it's spreading the load out as well. So once all these have done, then it's all going forward then to having a glue up and glue them all up and screw them together. I've got one of the uprights here for the seat that comes up from the frame, and then the seat goes on the top here. On the drawing it shows some elliptical holes, but I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to get a 35mm Forstner bit and just drill a hole each side, and then you can just tie off a baler or anything like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna drill those out now on the pillar drill and see how it looks. I've got the Forstner bit in the drill, 35mm. Just lining it up. There's a point on the end. I just want to line it up there. So I want to drill down so far, but just before I cut through, I want to stop, turn it round, and the point should have made a hole in the other side and then go back through the other way, and that should stop any splintering of the veneer on the ply. So let's try that. Right, I've just got the hole come through the other side, so I'm going to carefully lower it down, line the hole up. That's it. It'll come through this side now. Through now, that is. So got that on that side. I'm just going to go over that with a sander. Let's turn that drill off. Let's just sand that off and see how it looks. nice and smooth, both sides. So get all 3 of those done, and that's the seat uprights done. Right, I'm going to go and make up one of the frames now. I'm going to do each component one at a time. So I've mixed up some more glue. So I'll just put the seat stand on. Put some on the back. I've had some glue left over from gluing all the frames up, so I've mixed some Microlite 410 in with it, so I can just fill these screw holes up and then sand them off later. Just makes a better job. So now that the filler's dried, it's set, I can sand it back now with the orbital. So that I'm going to prep all the frames, the 3 frames up, the transom and the bow, and it's going to be easier to do at this stage than doing it later on when it's on the building jig. So I'm going to prep them all first, get them all sanded up, and then the building jig will be the next thing to be making up. So let's make a start on these. Okay, so that's the frames sanded and prepped. They're ready to go in the jig when it's been built. There's one thing I have got to do, so I've remembered, is that on this corner and that corner we need a radius taken out. So that means that any water that gets in the boat can flow through the boat as opposed to it just filling up, say, between the frames. So it can flow and air off and dry probably a lot easier. So what I'm going to do, you can just use anything really to mark round, and I'm going to do that to the 3 frames on those 2 corners, and then I'm going to bandsaw them out, give them a bit of a sand, and then when they go into the jig, and I've mixed some more glue up, I shall coat the inside with the epoxy resin, so that'll sort of waterproof it a lot better. I know it'll be painted as well, but I think if we put some epoxy on, I think that'd be a good thing. Okay, that's one of them done. Note, I think I mentioned earlier about when putting the screws in, obviously the ones on the other side, one will be here and one will be over here somewhere. So you're even in the loadout on the doublers. Just be sure that you don't go too far in that corner with the screw on this side, and then it gives you some room then to take that radius out. Okay. So I think I might just take these grooves out in here and just tidy them up with one of these round sanders that go in the drill. That's better. So that was a great ride out on the bikes tonight. Thank you for watching episode 2. Episode 3 will be building up the bow on the front of the boat. So till next time, thank you. Bye.